Why did one of Europe's most powerful royal houses fall? History books teach us it was the French Revolution. But what if the fate of the Bourbons and the bloody downfall of the French crown were announced centuries in advance with eerie, almost mathematical precision? For over 400 years, the world has lost itself in vague, esoteric interpretations of the famous quatrains of Nostradamus. Everyone reads into them what they want to see. But an extraordinary prophecy was hidden in a completely unexpected place. In the year 1605, decades after the author's death, 58 mysterious six-line verses appeared, the so-called sixains. Most experts dismissed them as a forgery. The reason: one six-line verse described an event that had occurred just 3 years prior far too precisely, the beheading of the traitor Bayern, a historical drama whose pattern of mercy and ultimate judgment eerily foreshadowed the later fate of the Bourbon dynasty, all the way down to King Louis XVI. People simply did not believe that a prediction could come true so exactly. But the texts are not a forgery. They contain a self-contained, highly complex cryptographic system that has remained undiscovered until today. Until now. We did not just reinterpret the texts. We analyzed them forensically. Hidden within these 58 six-line verses are exactly 43 specific time references, most of them disguised as fictional years like 605, 610, or 670. When these time intervals are evaluated using a weighted regression fit, a scientific method of quantitative data analysis, a shocking picture emerges. The data points form a clear pattern. There are a few time references of extremely high importance for the decipherment. One of them is the extreme value. In verse 53, the coded year 670 is mentioned. It lies far away from all other data points. The mathematical decipherment of this year leads us to the year 1814, whereby April 11th, 1814 fits the calculated time perfectly. What happened on this day? The Treaty of Fontainebleau was signed. The unconditional abdication of Napoleon Bonaparte. The downfall of the man who inflicted severe damage upon the Christian heritage of Europe. But the system goes even deeper. In a single six-line verse, we find two precision data points, details that are coded to the exact month. Two twins in a single verse. The first twin deciphers to January 1647. It is the month in which the English King Charles I was sold to his enemies through an unprecedented double betrayal. It was the prelude to the first public execution of a reigning Christian king. A regicide that shook Europe. The second twin in the same verse deciphers to July 1647. What happened here? Was it another battle? No, it was the baptism of a little girl in France, Margaret Mary Alacoque. Why does a prophetic code link the brutal execution of an English king with a French nun? Here the true core of the prophecies is revealed. Nostradamus was only the encryption algorithm. The author of the prophecy is someone else. That nun, Margaret Mary Alacoque, received a message from the King of Kings years later. On June 17, 1689, she delivered a divine offer to King Louis XIV, the Sun King. He was to consecrate himself and his kingdom to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and display this heart on his banners. The reward, divine protection and victory over the enemies of the Church. The king responded with silence. The Bourbons ignored the demand. The prophecy closed like a trap. Exactly 100 years later, to the very day on June 17, 1789, the old order of France collapsed. The Third Estate declared itself the National Assembly. The French Revolution took its course. And King Louis XVI suffered exactly the same cruel fate on the scaffold as the English King Charles I had decades earlier, a fate that could have been prevented by the consecration to the Sacred Heart. Human plans fail. But here we see the historical fingerprint of divine providence, proven through flawless mathematics and historical documents. These secrets were only gradually revealed after years of research and strict deductive decipherment. Do you want to see the complete, logical proof? Do you want to learn how the six-line verses were translated, assigned, and historically verified? The puzzle is solved. Discover the world's first decipherment of the six-line verses. My book, The Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Bourbons, Nostradamus sixains, is now available internationally as an ebook. You will find the link to the website and the complete decipherment directly below this video. Lift the veil of history.